if you ever wondered, how can I keep the wild hogs running around my property away from the deer feeder? Well, this is it. You make yourself a hog tube, right? Love it. So, thing is, make this little tube right here, you fill it with corn, and the hogs will spend hours and hours and hours pushing this thing in a circle instead of running around, rooting around your deer feeder. So, I guess I can show you how I made it. It's not that hard. Let's show you. The thing about this tube, okay, so when I started, it was like 6 feet long, but the hogs, well, they keep breaking it, and so I had to come up with a way so they wouldn't break it. But the joke's on them, because every time they broke it, I had to cut off a portion of the pipe, and the pipe just got shorter. And the shorter the pipe, the less corn it holds. So the less corn for the hogs. So it's kind of sucks for them. But anyways, one of the things that I found out was, originally I would use like a cable. Well, the cable, they broke the cable. They're really strong. And then I thought, well, I'll use a chain. Well, problem was, my chain was too long. And so it would wrap around my T-post, and then it'd get hung up. And then with their, their strong necks and those snouts, they would snap off the end of the tube. Thus, I'd have to go and cut it off, glue on a new one. And so what I found was that if I just use a few links, got your big ring, right? That goes over your T-post. Got your little carabiner, I think that's what they call it. Anyways, and then I bought this little swivel online, this little stainless steel swivel online. And then you use a U-bolt that goes down inside here and you bolt it on. Now, the trick is to put your U-bolt on before you glue the cap onto the pipe, because if you don't, yeah, you better have a lot of long extensions, because there's no way to tighten up that nut. And the other thing I learned too is, on that nut, you got to put Loctite on it, because literally all the spinning that thing around this T-post that they're going to do will unscrew this eye bolt, and it'll come off, and then it's a real booger to put it back on, because you got this long tube. So anyways, so we got this tube, got your little swivel, carabiner, boom, it's real short. This way it doesn't hang up on the T-post, and they won't snap off and bust your cap. So there you go. So your tube, see, I use 6-inch SDR35 PVC pipe, because it's not a pressure rated PVC pipe, and it's not that expensive. So if you can find it, it's really good. You drill a bunch of holes in it, and you just put them in there randomly, right? And the holes, I put 1/2-inch holes. That's big enough that as they're rolling it around, it's just dropping 1 or 2 kernels of corn. But it's enough to keep their interest, and they'll literally push this around for hours and hours. I've got it on camera where they push this thing around for 4 hours at a time. So wears them out, and it keeps them away from your deer feeder and stuff. So the other thing, like I said, when I started, it was 6 feet long, but every time they would bust this off as I was going through my learning experience on how to put this together, it got shorter and shorter. So I'll probably build a new one, make it a little longer. But on this end, so this end, you have what we call a clean out adapter, right? So PVC cap on this side, and it's SGR35, so it's sewer, it's not Schedule 40. So you got to match it up. So if you're going to use Schedule 40 PVC pipe, you got to use Schedule 40 fittings, PVC, but this is SDR, it's a drain pipe, and these are sewer fittings. They're less expensive, and so that's why I use them. Anyways, so on this end, the funny thing was, the turds, it's like they're smarter than dogs. I'm just telling you, that's what I've heard. And they found a way to unscrew this cap, or actually it's technically a plug, and it would come out here in the cap, or the plug would be laying over here on the ground, and the tube would be empty, and they'd steal all my corn. So to prevent that, I take some baling wire, and I just drilled some small holes, and boom, I run this wire through that so they can't unscrew my cap get it off. So, and then I buy so many bales of alfalfa and stuff like that, so I've got plenty of baling wire. So each time I just put a new piece of baling wire on it, and it makes it good to go. So, okay, so just to get it loose. Right, clean out plug, clean out adapter, there you go. And so all you got to do is now fill it with corn. So let's do it. Now something that I do, and it's not necessary, they're going to come to it anyways, but just so that they know, hey, I've been by and I filled their tube. Is that a little bit of the hog attractant? Put it down inside there. Ever so often as I'm filling this thing with corn. A little bit more. I mean, they can smell this stuff. Golly, it feels like a mile away. And this will get them to come in a lot quicker than being on their regular rotation as they're cruising around looking for things to eat. There you go. So at this point, because this thing has gotten so short, like I said, you guys are learning from my mistakes. So again, cable didn't work. Chain didn't work because as it gets hung up on this T-post, they snap off the end. Then you got to cut it off. You got to glue new fitting on, and it's just a pain in the ass. So, pain in the butt. So, anyways, you fill it up with the old corn and some hog attractant. You put your cap back on. Go, excuse me, plug, clean out plug. And you find these things that, of course, the fittings at the plumbing supply houses, typically the box stores don't keep fittings this large in stock, but the plumbing supply houses, they definitely do. So there you go, there we go. All right, so once you get your cap back on, you line up your holes, you fish your baling wire through there all the way through the other side, and then tie it off in the center, and there you go. So this way, it's crazy hogs. I know, it's like they got a channel locks for jaws, and they figure out a way almost every time to unscrew this when I don't wire it down. So wire it down. Now you want to cut off any crazy excess that you have, and then you're done. So then you just take it, put your ring on your T-post, throw it on the ground, and then as they roll it, you'll see they're just dropping a couple corners. They're just dropping a couple kernels of corn every time they roll it, and that keeps them here. And so they'll literally push this thing for 4 hours or until it's empty, and make it happen. Go hogs.
From Tennessee, he got a one-way ticket to Vegas to live a dream. With the roll of the dice, he sacrificed every bit of sanity. Well, I sold the lights of Vegas, sweep him clean. He said, oh Lord, I'm taking my pain.